Hey guys, it's Lee and I'm back today with another video for you. So today I'm going to be making beef bone broth, and then I'm going to pressure can it as well. In real life this is going to take a few days, but it's all going to be in this one video for you. I don't buy a lot of bone-in beef. So what I did was I went to a local farmer's market. They have them here. I'm in York, Pennsylvania, and they have these markets every Friday. It's on Memory Lane. It's called Eastern Market. So what I did was I bought some soup bones from the butcher. There are several butchers in there. I'm going to, now these don't have a lot of meat on them. I'm going to see how this works out, and if it's not beefy enough, next time I will buy the bones with more meat on them. They do have those available. But this is 2 pounds worth of bones. To this crock pot or slow cooker, I'm going to add in some celery tops that I've washed. I have this many carrots. I'm going to add those in. These carrots need to be used up. They're not going to last much longer. I have a medium and a small onion that I chopped up. Those onions are also not going to last much longer. A couple of bay leaves, a splash of apple cider vinegar. You can use whatever vinegar you have, it'll be fine. Some black pepper that I just grind into the lid and add in. And some minced garlic. That was probably about a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons. All right, I filled the crock pot with water, and then I'm gonna let this cook on low for at least 24 hours. I haven't added any salt or any other seasonings in besides pepper and the bay leaves just yet. I'm going to let this cook, like I said, for probably 24 hours. And then I'm going to taste it and see what it's like. So I'll meet you back here in 24 hours. All right, so it's been 24 hours, give or take. Nope, it's been 25 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug the crock pot. The dogs are fighting. I'm just going to take the top off real quick to show you. Let me get a spoon. See if I can lean this forward so you can see better. But the bones, you can see that the marrow has come out of the bones. Everything is cooked down. I really do oh, this one's completely empty. I really do think that I needed more bones. That's why when this cooked down, this is the last one, I didn't add more water. So what I'm going to do, I unplugged it. I'm going to let this cool a little bit, and then I'm going to strain it. After I strain it, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. I'm going to cover it and put it in the refrigerator overnight. In the morning, I am going to take off as much of the fat, or sometime tomorrow. I don't know what time I'll get to it. So tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to take as much of the fat off the top as I can. And then I'm going to put it back in the crock pot, get it back up to boil, or on the stove. Depends, depends on life. Get it back up to the boil and then pressure can it. Beef stock has to be pressure canned. It's a low acid food, and yeah, you need to pressure can it. So I'm just gonna let this sit here until it cools enough that it won't scald me. Then I'm going to strain it. All right, it's the next day, and the broth that I strained has been in the refrigerator. What I did, you can see that it has solidified on top. So last night I covered this in plastic wrap, put it in the fridge, and now I am going to scoop off as much of that fat as I can. And I'm just gonna put it on this plastic wrap and throw it away. Now I'm just going to turn this on high to get it boiling. This actually is a lot darker and richer than I thought it was going to be with just the 2 pounds of bones. Next time, well, I don't know. We'll see what this tastes like. Next time I might make it with 4 pounds just so I can fill the crock pot up more and get more broth for the same amount of time. Anyway, I'm gonna let this come to a boil and then I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Full disclosure, it's been about a week and a half since I made that stock. Sometimes life gets in the way. So what I ended up doing was taking that stock and putting it in the freezer, the beef stock, until I had time to actually can it. So in the meantime, I was able to get more beef bones, so I made more stock, and that's on the stove right now. You can probably hear my gas stove in the background. I'm bringing it up to a boil, and then I am going to can it in my brand new Presto Precise digital canner. I will have this linked down below. In my Amazon store, I have a canning essentials section, so I have all the canning stuff that I like on that page. Anyway, so I have the Nesco one, and now I want to try out the Presto one. So I'm not sure how much stock I have, and I had these 1.5 pint jars downstairs, so I thought I would go ahead and use these. I only have 5 of them, and those have to be canned the same time as a quart. Anything over a pint has to be canned at quart times. So that means that these have to be canned for 25 minutes. Pints are 20 minutes. I also have some pint jars ready, and I have 1 quart jar ready to go just in case I need it. So I plugged in my pressure canner, and you can use this little knob to choose boiling water can or pressure can. I'm doing pressure canning. And then I'm going to be doing 25 minutes. And at this point, this is where this one is different than the Nesco canner, because this canner has a jar warming feature. So what they want you to do is fill your jars halfway and put them in the canner. Oh, I forgot to mention, I already put 3 quarts of water in the canner. That's what this canner calls for. There's also a fill line in there. So that's already filled up. I forgot to mention that part. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill the jars half full. I don't really know, I guess I'll just stick with pints. So let me fill these half full and put them into the canner. Then I'm going to put the lid on, close this arm, and seal it shut. You want to make sure the regulator is not on. Then you hit the arrow, and it starts to warm your jars. While those are warming, my stock is heating up. All right, now it says fill jars. It takes about 15-20 minutes depending on the temperature inside the canner, or the water. So now I'm going to take the top off, and the jars are nice and warm. Now I'm going to take them out one at a time, fill them with the broth, put the lids on, and put them back in the canner. I'm using my silicone measuring cup. These things are so cool. I'll leave those linked down below as well. So you want to fill your jar, let me take you down a little bit, to a 1-inch headspace, which is right around this bottom rim. That actually needs a little bit more. There we go. Then you want to take a paper towel or a cloth dipped in vinegar and wipe the edge to make sure it doesn't have anything on there that could keep it from sealing. Pop on the lid, and then a ring to finger tight, and then back in the canner. All right, so I only had enough for 4 of the 1.5 jars and 1 pint jar. So hopefully those will be okay in there. I'm going to put, oh, I almost forgot something. I'm going to take the rest of that vinegar I was using and pour it in the canner. It helps to keep your jars from getting cloudy. I'm going to put the lid on. Close the arm at the top and lock it, still leaving the regulator off. Then I'm going to press start. So now it's heating up, and then it will switch to the countdown to vent your canner. Vent will be coming out of here. Once that countdown is over, you put the regulator on can and start the canning process. Okay, so now the vent timer has started. It will count down to 10. I know I already said this, but I just wanted to show it to you as well. It'll count down from 10 to 0, I mean, and then you put the regulator on can. And now it's starting the canning process. Once it's done, it will beep, and then it will go into cooling mode, and it will cool for hour and a half or so. And when it's completely done, I'll be back and we'll take the jars out. The canning process is completely finished now. The pressure canner has cooled off. This little pressure spout thingy has gone down, which means you can open the canner. I'm going to put that over to vent just to make sure there's no pressure. So now I'm removing the lid away from me so that I don't end up with a facial. I hear popping. I'm going to take the jars out. So I took all 4 jars out, and they are still bubbling. I don't know if you can tell in that one. They're still bubbling a little bit. I've heard 3 of them pop so far. Did I say 4? There are 5. I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway, I've heard 3 of them pop so far. We just need 2 more to seal. Now these are going to sit on my counter until tomorrow at some point, where I will take the lids off, make sure they have sealed properly, or take the bands off, I mean. Make sure they have sealed properly, and then I will label them, wash them, then label them, and put them on the shelf. I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, so all of these have sat overnight, they've cooled off, and the first thing I'm going to do is press. They have all sealed. I'm going to take the rings off. And then test, and then test the seals by picking them up by the lid. I don't know if you have to do that necessarily, but it makes me feel better to know that they are completely sealed, and they are. So all I have left to do, and I'm not going to show that on camera, but all I have left to do is wash the jars and then write on them beef broth and the date. So I'll do that to all 5 of them, and we will have some delicious beef broth on the shelf for when I want to make soup or stews or whatever you use beef broth in. It's really good when you cook rice to substitute out chicken or beef broth. It makes the rice so much better. All right, so let me know down in the comments below if you like to can foods, and if so, what are your favorite things to can? I'm always looking for new recipes. I'd like to have some complete meals like soups and stews and whatever in a jar. So let me know what your favorites are. Also, let me know if you use an electric pressure canner, and if not, I will have a link down below to all of my favorite canning supplies. It's an Amazon affiliate link, just so you know. So in case you're interested in buying a new canner or some other supplies, I will have them all linked down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you'll always be notified when I upload new videos. You can also find me over on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook at Lee's Home 05. Thanks for watching. Bye.